Live Text Access Training for Real-Time Intralingual Subtitlers. This is Unit 3, IT Competence. In this presentation, we will be dealing with Element 2, Output Tools. This will be an introduction to the output tools used by real-time intralingual subtitlers. The materials for this presentation have been created by Subti Access, an accessibility service provider from Italy. My name is Enrico Pigliacampo. I am an Italian man with a beard and short hair. I will be displayed in a box at the top right corner of each slide. The learning outcome of this presentation is that the trainee can explain the differences, advantages, and disadvantages of the output tools available on the market, TV subtitling software, other, for real-time intralingual subtitling. After an introduction on how we gathered the data for this presentation, we will see in details the survey we carried out to gather the data, and then we will talk about output tools. There are not many data about the tools used by real-time intralingual subtitlers. When we talk about output tools, the market offers a lot of different possibilities, so we decided to carry out a survey to understand which tools are the most used by real-time intralingual subtitlers. The survey was created using Google Forms and was available online from the 2nd of February 2021 to the 18th of February 2021. The target group was professional real-time subtitlers. The survey was disseminated through LTA's newsletter and social media, and partners shared the survey link with their contacts. We received 40 answers. The results of the survey are presented and analyzed in all 3 video lectures of Element 2. In the second part of this lecture, I will present the survey. The survey included 6 questions. 3 of them were general questions about the technique used by the subtitlers and the work context and setting they usually work in. The questions were: which technique do you usually use to create real-time intralingual subtitles? In which context do you usually work? In which work setting do you work the most? By context, we mean the kind of event the subtitle works for. By setting, we mean how they work for that event, face-to-face, online, or by relay. After the previous general questions, there were 3 specific ones about output tools. These were: which output tools hardware do you use? Explain why you use them and in which context. Which output tools software do you use, and explain why you use them and in which context? Do you use other language tools, machine translation, and crowdsourcing tools? We will now analyze the answers to the 3 general questions. The first one is: which technique do you usually use to create real-time intralingual subtitles? The possible answers were respeaking, velotype, or other typing technique. Most respondents, which means 26, which is equivalent to 65% of the answers, chose the third option, other typing technique. Most of them use the traditional PC keyboard with shortcuts to work faster. Only one respondent mentioned Palantype, which is a typing machine designed to type faster. I'm not taking into consideration some answers that are not useful for this presentation, but you may find in the document results of the LTA survey on output tools. Regarding the other techniques, 16 people, 40% of the answers, chose respeaking, and 4 people, 10% of the answers, chose velotype. The second general question was: in which context do you usually work? This was a multiple choice question, so subtitlers could choose one or several answers among the 5 working contexts the LTE project takes into consideration: cultural events, parliamentary assemblies, broadcasts, workplace, education. There was also the other option for people to add other work contexts. Here are the answers. Cultural events, 23 answers, 57.5%. Parliamentary assemblies, 13 answers, 32.5%. Broadcasts, 12 answers, 30%. Workplace, 30 answers, 75%. Education, 30 answers, 75%. Other, 19 answers, 47.5%. Those who answered other specified the following context: court, police, psychological settings, healthcare, charitable sector, hotlines, phone calls. The last general question was, in which work setting do you work the most? The people who answered the survey could choose from among the 3 settings the LTE project takes into consideration: face-to-face, online, by relay. Once again, it was a multiple question, so they could choose one or several settings. 60% of the subtitlers who answered the survey work online, 30% work face-to-face, and only 10% work by relay. The third section of this presentation is an introduction to the output tools used by real-time intralingual subtitlers. It's based on the answers given to the 3 specific questions of the survey. We will analyze the data gathered in the other 2 presentations of Element 2. You can also find a complete overview of the answers in the document Results of the LTA Survey on Output Tools. When talking about hardware, we should consider the end users to choose the output tools. In particular, it is important to know whether the subtitles are going to be used by an audience or a group of people, or only by one person. In the former case, a screen is needed to project the subtitles on for the audience to read the subtitles, with a projector connected to the subtitles computer. If the audience is not very large, for example in a meeting, we can also use a television set. If only one person is going to read the subtitles, or if a group of people are going to read them on their own devices, the users will need to have a computer, tablet, smartphone, or a monitor, even a TV monitor, where the subtitles can be sent for the users to read them. The software programs used by real-time subtitlers can be divided into 3 groups. The first group includes generic software programs that were not developed specifically for real-time subtitling, such as Microsoft Word and Google Doc. Of course, it is impossible to create subtitles with these software programs, as they do not offer specific features needed for the job, but they can be useful if you only need to share a document with the user, for example in settings such as education or the workplace. Most people know how to use such software and they are almost always available. The second group is made up of software created specifically for subtitling, such as Text on Tap or Stream Text. Since they have been created for real-time subtitling, they have features that help subtitlers provide high-quality subtitles. There are also subtitlers who share their desktop with the users through software such as TeamViewer or GoToMyPC, but it is something you can do when you only work for one person, not for a whole audience. Summary. In conclusion, we suggest that when choosing the output tools, you need to take into consideration 3 aspects: the context you will work in, your professional needs, and the needs of the end users. Exercises. Read results of the LTA survey on output tools to have an overview of the output tools available on the market.
LTA Live Text Access, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, SDI, Internationale Hochschule, Scuola Superiore per Mediatori Linguistici, ZDF Digital, European Federation of Hard of Hearing People FHO, Velotype, SUBT Access, European Certification and Qualification Association ECQA. Co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Erasmus Plus project 2018-1-DE01-KA203-004218. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies, nor any person acting on their behalf, may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here.